The automotive world has just been rocked to its core, and the sound you're hearing is the shattering of a decade-long illusion. Ram, that powerhouse of American trucking, didn't just drop a small discount, they unleashed an economic weapon that has triggered the Great Truck Collapse. Suddenly, trucks that were once selling for north of $70,000 are now being listed for nearly half that price, and it has sent shockwaves tearing through every single dealership, manufacturer, and bank across the country. This isn't just about moving inventory. This is an all-out price war that is forcing competitors like Ford and Chevy into a panic-stricken race to the bottom, scrambling to figure out what Ram knows that they don't. We're witnessing brand new Ram 1500s, heavy-duty work trucks, and even luxury trims being offered at prices that haven't been seen since the last economic downturn. Some dealers are calling it a clear-out apocalypse, and here is the craziest part. Despite these massive, almost unbelievable discounts, lots across the entire nation are still overflowing with unsold inventory. So what's the terrifying truth behind this sudden, unprecedented collapse? The chilling reality is that Ram isn't just trying to boost sales, they're fighting for survival. Ram's parent company, Stellantis, has been brutalized over the last year by a perfect storm of slowing truck demand, record-high interest rates, and a massive overproduction crisis. Dealers were essentially begging for relief as buyers, the backbone of the American truck market, simply vanished from showrooms. The people who used to finance a $70,000 pickup on an 84-month loan are now slamming the door, saying, "No way." The bubble didn't just burst, it imploded. Ram was left with no option but to pull the trigger on one of the most aggressive, most painful pricing overhauls in modern automotive history. But don't mistake this for pure desperation. It's desperation cloaked in ruthless strategy. Stellantis is making a huge generational bet on the new 2025 and 2026 models, including the all-electric Ram Rev and the next-gen 1500 with its smaller, more efficient powertrains. They need to clear every single old unit, every last piece of the outdated inventory to make room for this new technological wave, and they are willing to sacrifice profits, maybe even take devastating losses, to do it. Think about that for a second. We're seeing brand new trucks being sold at near-used prices, something that has been completely unthinkable for over a decade in this market. Meanwhile, the boardrooms at Ford and GM are in total freakout mode. Their dealers are already being forced to match Ram's devastating discounts, trying to stop customers from literally walking across the street to buy a truck for $15,000 less. The iconic Silverado, the legendary F-150, the high-end Sierra, all of them are facing pressure like they have never known before. Because once consumers see Rams being sold for $10,000, $15,000, even $20,000 off the MSRP, it permanently changes the landscape. Buyers suddenly have the terrifying realization that these trucks were never truly worth the inflated price tags they were charging, and that single moment of clarity has the power to collapse the entire inflated truck market overnight. Ram's bombshell move isn't just about market share, it's exposing exactly how fragile the U.S. auto market truly is. A system that for years relied entirely on inflated prices, dealer markups, and massive extended loans to keep the profits flowing. Now, with high interest rates, shrinking savings, and consumer confidence cratering, that old system is breaking apart in real time. Even the most loyal blue-collar customers are walking away, and Ram's leadership knows it. They are trying to make their trucks accessible again before the whole house of cards tumbles down. But here is the single most unsettling twist. The true victims of this price war are the people who bought new trucks in 2021 and 2022, right at the market's absolute peak. Suddenly, their brand new six-figure Ram 1500s have lost up to 30% of their value in just a few short months. It's like watching a housing bubble pop, only this time the collapse is happening on 4 expensive wheels. It's being dubbed the Great Value Wipeout. Trade-in prices are plummeting, banks are rapidly tightening their grip on loans, and repossessions are climbing because the collateral, that shiny new truck, is simply not worth what it was a year ago. Economists are whispering that this is far more dangerous than it looks, warning that it could spill over into the broader economy. The auto market is a massive chunk of consumer credit, and if truck values keep dropping, millions of Americans could end up underwater, owing more on their vehicles than they are worth. That is a dangerous 2008 level setup, eerily fueled this time by auto loans instead of mortgages. This decision by Ram, which looks like a smart sales tactic on the surface, could actually be the spark that exposes the incredible fragility of the entire auto financing system. Yet this entire ordeal is part of a far more sinister long-term power play that the media isn't talking about. Ram isn't just cutting prices to move old inventory. They are using this moment to completely reposition themselves in the market and redefine who dominates American trucking for the next decade. Here's what is happening behind the closed doors of Stellantis. They know the EV transition has hit a wall. Consumers are hesitant, charging infrastructure is lagging, and the electric trucks from Ford and Chevy are sitting unsold. So, while everyone else bet the farm on electrification, Ram is pivoting hard. They are pushing a new hybrid lineup that delivers the fuel economy consumers need without sacrificing the raw muscle that true truck buyers actually want. By dropping prices now, they are making way for that new generation and positioning themselves as the common sense value alternative in a market that has gone completely crazy with $90,000 luxury haulers. The logic is simple, and it's devastatingly effective. Buyers are telling dealers, if I can get the same performance and comfort from Ram for $10,000 less, why would I go anywhere else? And here is the absolute kicker. This move might actually be a genius-level strategy to trap Ford, Chevy, and Toyota in a no-win situation. If the rivals don't lower their prices, they risk losing massive chunks of market share to Ram. But if they do lower them, they will crush their already razor-thin profit margins, especially on those expensive EVs that are costing more to build than they are selling for. It's a strategic corporate chokehold. Stellantis is using pricing as a literal weapon, forcing its competitors to either follow them into the financial fire or simply burn from the heat of staying put. And the internal pressure is only accelerating the conflict. Insiders suggest Stellantis is planning to permanently consolidate production, reduce dealer inventory levels, and shift rapidly toward a direct order model, a kind of Tesla-style system, but aimed at the working-class buyer. That means no more bloated markups, no more middleman games, and Ram could actually be moving toward a factory-to-customer sales model that cuts out dealership manipulation entirely. This is why the dealers are absolutely terrified. They believe Stellantis is using Ram as the first domino, testing the waters for a full-scale transformation. Once buyers get used to ordering directly from the factory, faster, cheaper, and with total pricing control, there is no going back. The public sees incredible discounts, but insiders see disruption, the potential start of the great dealership collapse. This is a restructuring that could fundamentally change how Americans buy vehicles forever. Ram didn't just reignite demand, they reignited hope. The guy who thought he'd never be able to afford a new truck might finally be driving one home. Families who were priced out of the market now have a chance to buy an American-built vehicle without being buried under debt for a decade. That emotional impact, making trucks affordable again, could redefine the Ram brand for a generation. The old rules of the truck game have stopped applying. The inflated prices, the endless markups, the dealership games, it's all collapsing under the weight of reality. The American car market has been living in a consumer fantasy for years, but Ram just shattered that illusion, proving that the industry can, in fact, afford to lower prices. It only took one incredibly bold move to make the rest of the industry look utterly greedy and completely out of touch. The stakes have never been higher. The entire auto world is changing fast, and Ram just proved that no one is safe from the storm they unleashed. Prices are falling, the old system is cracking, and the next few months will decide who survives this reset. So, you have to ask yourself, did Ram make the single smartest move in modern auto history, forcing a reset that was long overdue, or did they just start a financial fire they cannot possibly control? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more breaking automotive updates, and hit that notification bell because trust me, this story is just getting started.